particular elective that we are going to discuss. This is the flow of the presentation. How is it going to be? So the vision and mission of the department and program outcomes already you know. For mechanical department, you will have the same vision. Only the civil word will be represented by the replaced by the mechanical word. So there are program outcomes. There are 12 programs outcomes. You may have already been seen these program outcomes in each of your subjects. So for this particular subject, the program outcome number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, and 11 are mapping. So if you see the scheme of the course,
नहीं चाहिए मेरे को
it is a request for all of you to either sit in a quiet place, or if it is not possible at your homes, you can just mute your audio. So today, the scheme of the course is such that there will be two internal assessment tests carrying 20 marks each, and an end semester examination of 80 marks. There is no term work or oral exam for this particular course. But scoring in this course, as we discussed the other day, is quite difficult. Of course, passing is not a problem in this particular course, unlike you yourself don't want to pass. अगर आप खुद नहीं चाहते, then it is a different issue. But passing is not difficult. All of you, I expect you to pass. Only thing, a challenge is to score good marks, because it is a theoretical subject and you have to write exactly to the point so that you can score good marks. So course objectives we have discussed the other day: to understand the physics of disasters, extent and damage, study and understand the means of losses, role of individual and various organization, understand the application of GIS. This is a modern tool which is to be used in disaster management. And to understand the emergency, like the pandemic, in the corona, this particular Arogya Setu app is there. It is a form of GIS also, and many GIS applications are there, which the various state governments are using for quarantine facilities in their particular states. Then you have to understand the emergency government response structures before, during, and after disaster. Uh, you will get to know the various natural as well as man-made disasters and their extent. These are the outcomes after completing this course. What are the various disasters? What are the various structures and how they should be built? And what your contribution as an engineer should be there. Get acquainted with the various policies, acts, various organization structures. Get to know simple do's and don'ts in such extreme events and act accordingly. This is the detailed syllabus. The detailed syllabus you can just see. Uh, there are 6 modules in totality. Module number 1 is a general module which we are going to start. We are going to start today's lecture with some of these definitions. Then the second module is the biggest module, but from the exam point of view, if we saw the other day, the fourth and sixth module were asked quite frequent questions. Second module is quite, you can say, a general type of module, and third module is disaster management policy, administration, and management in this particularly in India, an institutional framework for disaster management in India. There are various sub modules in that, and financial relief measures, various NGOs which are
पानी देना
towards it, and then preventive and mitigation measures. So this is the syllabus structure. If you see the course delivery plan, what will be there? The first module will be taught by online PPT, and quiz will be taken at the end of the lecture of the module. Then likewise, only the sixth module has some case study which you have to do an analysis over it, and then you have to just submit the particular analysis. There will be direct assessment and indirect assessment, like we already discussed. And this is the COPO mapping, which CO maps to which program outcomes. The question paper generally it is common to all particular, like your all subjects are there, similar to all your subjects. The syllabus, the scheme, or the examination pattern is same. This is a sample question paper of December 2019, because only one paper is there for a reference. Of course, there are many previous years paper, but the syllabus was slightly different, because disaster management is, you can say, not that much different, but still the syllabus has some added, you can say, features in this particular more revised syllabus. So you can refer the previous syllabus also. Previously, the disaster management course was in the same 7 semesters an elective, sorry, 8 semesters an elective in your civil engineering pattern. So mechanical students can refer the civil engineering 8th semester old question papers for similar papers. This is according to this particular paper which I am presenting here is according to your this particular scheme. So you can see I have written the module against the question numbers, and you can see the way modules catering to different questions are asked. Most focus in the particular exam was in the module 4 and 6, because they had various type of questions can be asked on these modules. And these are the reference book. 7 reference books are there, like we already discussed the other day. No one particular book would be sufficient. Of course, you have to go through a lot of websites and publications, government publications, and various. You have to be up to date. You have to, like, a question may come in the exam, like a particular, like corona situation may be asked in the exam, because it is a you can say it is an ongoing phenomena which the earlier books may not be having. So you have to keep yourself updated, and most likely a question on corona pandemic is likely going to be there in the exam. So we'll see how to deal with it. Then the expectations. Yeah, somebody has any question? Somebody has raised hand. You can ask.
No, no, sir, it was by mistake.
Yes. Hello.
Sir, it was by mistake.
Okay, by mistake. No issue. No problem.
Sir, what is GIS?
Geographical information system. You already studied it in your surveying 2 course, but that was just for, you can say, theoretical purpose. No, you have not done any you can say coursework, or you can say an experiment on it. It was just a theoretical purpose. You remember the one day you had collected points from GPS and you had entered in a GIS QGIS platform, and we had computed the area and all in surveying practicals.
Yes, sir.
Students may be
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
that is a GIS platform. So likewise, GIS is extensively used. It is a very, you can say, gray area, and it has a lot of application in various fields. And disaster management is done quite a lot using the GIS platform, because it has information regarding the place. So expectation from the course is appropriate for learner who is proactive. So you yourself will develop readiness for a disaster, as well as you will help the society. It is especially useful if you are seeking techniques that can ensure your personal protection, as well as safety of your family, property, and belongings. In addition, it offers essential preparation for a variety of emergency situations. You can plan for unforeseen events and respond. So there are various cycles we'll discuss today. I'll give a presentation where the various terms and various phases will be discussed. How will you plan for your survival and the society's survival in absence of common amenities? Then you will also acquire practical, easy to apply strategies for maintaining a healthy attitude. Because in the case of disaster, the resources are very limited, and the society you have to provide for the entire society. So how will you provide the limited resources? Like, for example, for your particular for your daily requirements of water, generally the municipality records, or the municipality requirement is that it supplies 135 liters per capita per day for a normal situation. But in case of disaster, if limited water is available, what will be the quantity of water which you need to supply? Maybe you could supply only 5 liters or 10 liters. Very limited water you could supply. So how will you plan for that particular situation? How will you distribute food? Now these are situations need to be understood and taken care of. Then role of civil engineer as well as mechanical engineers in disaster management shall be discussed. And finally, how institutions and government can aid in disaster management. And of course, in case of extreme disasters, death is there, but how preparedness can bring comfort to all the parties involved. So with this, I would like to start with the presentation of today. Okay. Is the screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Fine.
Yes, sir.
So basic concepts we are going to discuss. Of course, the other day I told you this is the document which is prepared by Asian Disaster Preparedness Centers. Likewise, there are many organizations, many governmental organizations and many non-governmental organizations which work towards disaster management. So this particular conference they had adopted from a particular course which was held in Bangkok. So what we are going to study today, we are going to study the various definitions. Look, these definitions are asked in the question number 1 generally for 2 marks, or there will be a question number any. Generally, this is asked in the first question because if you see the previous papers, in this paper it is not there. But in the previous year's paper, 8th semester paper, if you see of the previous syllabus, these all definitions are asked for 2 marks, or some short notes are there for 5 marks likewise. But some of these definitions you may expect in your exam. So define disaster, define all these definitions are there, vulnerability, capacity, all these things are there. Sometimes a particular thing may be asked and you will be asked to elaborate for 10 marks. This also question you can expect. So all these terms, disaster, hazard, risk, elements at risk, vulnerability, capacity, response, relief, rehabilitation, reconstruction, development, mitigation, preparedness, and all these things we are going to discuss. Now I would like you to see this particular image and tell me, you can tell me about this person. What can you say about this person who is walking at the foothill of this particular mountain? What will you call this? There are so many terms, right? So whether, okay, whether this person is safe or not from, whether this person is safe where he is currently right now, or if he had been a step ahead, would he have been safe? You can answer in the chat box, or you can also.
I couldn't hear you. Your voice is breaking.
My voice is not proper. Okay, fine. Okay. Now this
Can you
particular
repeat
case
the
is
question?
there, right? This person is walking just at the bottom of the foothill, and there is a big stone which is there on the top of the hill. So this person is, you can say, quite vulnerable to this particular stone. This particular, look, when will a disaster said to occur? When this stone falls, then this disaster will be said to occur. And if a person is very close to this particular place, can you see the arrow which I am pointing to the screen? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So this particular person, if he is standing here, if he is walking at very close to the foothill, he is very vulnerable to this particular disaster. And if it is at this place, maybe his vulnerability will be reduced. Of course, the stone may come and it may go here also. But of course, the risk which is here is quite more as compared to the risk which is here. So if the stone falls, there is likely to be more damage to a person who is walking here than a person who is walking here. So this person is said to be more vulnerable to the disaster as compared to the person who is far from the foothills. Now we'll see the terms which are associated with it. So hazard. What is hazard? Phenomena or situation which has the potential to cause disruption or damage to the property. Like the stone which was there on the top of the hill. It is a potential hazard. It has the potential, you can say it has the potential to cause disruption or damage to people. So it is a hazard. Like for example, yesterday you had seen 3 buildings collapse in Mumbai. You're aware of it? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Collapse in Mumbai, one in Fort, one in Malad, and one in Bandra, I think. So the hazard, this situation is there. Why? Because people knew that the buildings are old. So that was a potential hazard. Disaster had not yet occurred, but it was a hazard. People knew that the BMC had also sent notices to them. So it was a potential hazard which was identified. So hazard is as simple. You do not, in the exam, look, if you write this pinpoint, you'll get marks. Otherwise, what will happen? If you mix the disaster with it, if you say that it has caused damage, then you will lose marks. So be very careful, because what happens is you understand the concept, but while writing, you are not able to represent properly. So in the exam, be very careful what you are writing. So hazard is very clear. Any situation which has the potential to cause damage. This stone is on the top, that is a hazard. It is fallen down, that is a disaster. Are you understanding this? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Fine.
Yes, sir.
So this is the
Yes,
hazard.
sir.
If stone is on the top, it has potential to cause damage. It is known as hazard. Then there is disaster. So the serious disruption of the functioning of society causing widespread human, material, or environmental losses which exceed the capacity of the affected people to cope using their own resources. Now I will just see this example again. If it was a small stone, and if say there were houses here instead of this person, if it was a small stone, maybe this, if the stone would have fallen, this houses would have prevented themselves. If it was a small stone, but if it is a big stone, of course it will cause damage. So with the local resources, if the person was able to catch that stone, if you are able to prevent that stone, or if you are able to block that stone, then that won't be caused, so then that would be called as a disaster. Even if the same phenomena is there, the falling of the stone is same, only thing the size of the stone was small.
Sir, your voice is distorting.
Okay, just a moment, I'll connect with. Now is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine.
Yes, sir.
So just a moment, I will control. So when this stone, is my voice clear?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Now is it clear?
No, sir. No, sir.
No, sir.
Now,
Clear but low.
hello.
पहले अच्छा था.
पहले अच्छा था, अभी बिल्कुल नहीं आ रहा है.
अभी आ रहा है सर.
सर बहुत
आ
स्लो
रहा
आ
है.
रही है आवाज.
बहुत slow आ रहा है.
लो है आवाज.
Now,
Sir, it's like you are miles away from the mic.
yeah, because now I'm bringing the mic close. Now it is echoing. So no issue. I'll continue with the computer mark. Next meeting we'll take on Google Meet.
So now it's echoing.
Is it echoing now?
No,
Yes,
sir. No,
sir.
sir.
So
Not audible, sir. Hello.
now is it also audible?
आवाज. अबे बोले.
Now is
sir,
it
now I-
audible?
Sir, yes, sir.
So you speak
Yes.
for at least 10
Not
15
audible?
seconds, will tell you.
Hello.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir,
Fine.
you are audible.
Okay, fine. Let's just go back. So the serious disruption of the functioning of the society causing widespread human, material or environmental losses which exceed the ability of the affected persons to cope with their own resources, like they don't with like say for example in case of a flood, है ना? The people, if they themselves cannot cope up with the situation, then it is known as the hazard. If the water, if they could manage to remove themselves from the house, then it would be not called as a disaster. But because the water has come and they require some help, or they need the water to themselves withdraw, so that will be called as a disaster. So any event, either man-made or natural, sudden or progressive, like this pandemic is a progressive event, it is not a sudden event, right? Yes, Farhan has raised his hand. Farhan, you want to ask anything? Farhan?
No, sir. It was by mistake. Sorry.
Okay. No. So any event, it can be either man-made or natural. Sudden like in case of a cyclone, not cyclone, you can say in case of an earthquake, this is a sudden event. Like cyclone also we had we had an intimation that it will be occurring after 2 days or 3 days. In case of this pandemic also it is a progressive, so it is not a sudden event, but still it is a disaster causing widespread human, material or environmental losses, and it is known as a disaster. Like for example, you just look this particular boy. What you can see is there is a flood. Okay. So what you can say about the vulnerability of this particular person, whether he is vulnerable. Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
You are
Audible.
really audible.
Yes, sir. So this particular student, if you can see just this particular boy, he is quite vulnerable to the disaster. Why he is vulnerable? Because he is standing very close to the disaster. If he was standing somewhere here or somewhere away, maybe his vulnerability would have been reduced. Still, the person is same. The human being is same, but his vulnerability increases when he is in proximity to the disaster. So it is a condition. So not only the condition which is requiring with the position of a place or a place, it is the condition which may be due to which that person's ability to prepare or withstand a particular hazard is reduced. Are you understanding? Like for example, that stone and that person's case is there. If that particular person had erected a wall just besides him, a particular wall, retaining wall, which would have hold the stone after it had fall, so that would have his vulnerability would have been reduced if that particular wall condition would have been there. Is it clear? But because he was exposed to that particular stone, his vulnerability was reduced and he became more vulnerable to the disaster. And when disaster occurred, it may lead to the loss of his life. So you should understand these three concepts: hazard, vulnerability, disaster. There is one more concept that is known as it stopped? Just see, hazard is there in the top, vulnerability is the person is down, and if the person who is vulnerable, the hazard occurs, it will lead to a disaster. So if you see, either you have to reduce the hazard or you have to reduce the vulnerability to prevent the disaster from occurring. Are you understanding? The hazard should be reduced or people should be made less vulnerable. Vulnerability should be reduced. Any of this is reduced, so the disaster won't have occurred. Are you understanding? So they are inversely proportional to each other. Either one should be reduced, so the other will not occur. Disaster is inversely proportional to hazard and it is inversely proportional to vulnerability. So chances of disaster are more when vulnerability is more. Chances of disaster are more if hazard is more. So this term is there. This is known as community building. So the positive conditions or abilities which increases the community's abilities to deal with disaster. You can see these people are erecting some sort of structures. They may be temporary structures or permanent structures which will prevent a particular case from occurring. Maybe it may be a flood case or some other case. So they are increasing the vulnerability, they are increasing the community's ability to deal with hazard. Such a phenomena is known as capacity. Now you just see this figure. The probability that a community's structures or geographical area is to be damaged or disrupted by the impact of a particular hazard on account of their nature, construction, and proximity of that area, that is known as risk. So vulnerability and risk, you will find similar definitions, or you can say similarities in both. Risk is what? The probability. Now always remember, the probability can be from 0 to 1, or rather in terms of percentage, if you talk, it will be 0 to 100%. So what is the probability that a community structure or geographic area will be damaged? What are the chances? Like we say, there is 10% chances of flooding. There is, in case of cyclones, there is 10% chance or 50% chance of this severe cyclone. There are wind speeds, based on that the cyclones are classified. So what damage, or what is the probability of damage which will be occurring, that is known as the risk. So always risk is measured in terms of percentages. Simple thing is there. Hazard, disaster, as we have seen, hazard, if the hazard is more, the disaster risk is more. If the vulnerability is more, the disaster risk is more. If the capacity is built, the disaster will be less. Are you understanding? So what we should focus, we should not only focus on reducing the hazard and reducing the vulnerability, we should also focus on increasing the capacity. We need to reduce this risk. This risk should be as close to 0 as possible. Are you understanding? It is a simple mathematical equation. Hazard, if it is 0, this will become 0. There is no hazard. There is no chance of any hazard to occur. There is no chance of any disaster to occur, because the hazard is 0. If the vulnerability is 0, like for example, people are living in very well made houses, which is a very good building, a society is there, of course, we are talking for a particular type of disaster, so they will be saved. So suppose a person is living in a, say, high story building, and he is staying in his, say, some high floor, 7th floor, 10th floor, so the chances of flooding won't be there. The disaster striking, the flood disasters affecting him would be very less, provided he doesn't venture out of his house, so he will not be vulnerable as compared to the people who are staying in the huts. So if the vulnerability is reduced, even the hazard is more, because if any one of these two is made 0, the disaster risk will be 0. Or if even if these two are there and the capacity is built, like good houses are built, then also the disaster will become as close to 0 as possible. So we need to reduce these two, and we need to increase this two. So these are the exposed elements which are there. Just see. The persons who are very proximate or very close to the particular hazard are vulnerable people. Persons, buildings, crops, or any other such societal components exposed to known hazards which are likely to be affected adversely by the impact of disaster are vulnerable. There are two set of people. Here one group is there on the left hand side, on the right hand side one group is there. So the group on the left hand side, although their capacities are same, but still they are likely to be, these people, the right hand side group people, are likely to be less affected by the impact of disaster. So these people who are more impacted are known as elements at risk. So this cycle is often asked in the exam. This cycle is often asked in the exam. You can see disaster is occurring, so we should always be the one thing which should, before the disaster we should be prepared for it. Take any disaster, like in case of a flood, if you are prepared for that flood, then we can take appropriate actions. Like after the disaster, it is known as disaster management. The phases which are there after the disaster, they are known as disaster management, and the phases which are there before the disaster are known as disaster mitigation. You'll remember this. The phases which are there on the right hand side, those are known as disaster management phases, and the right and left hand side phases are known as disaster mitigation. Mitigation means prevention. Like it is said, there is a famous proverb that prevention is better than cure. Like for example, in case of corona, if you take preventive measures, you wear your mask, you sanitize your hands and feet and yourself when you come from outside, then you will be protected from the virus. But you say nothing will happen, and then you just say that after you contract that disease, you feel that no, I should go to the doctor and all this thing, it will affect you. Even you may be cured, if your immune system is good, you may not be that much affected, but still, now because your immune system is group, you are less vulnerable people. Are you understanding this? The people whose immune system is good, like young people who do not have any comorbidities, they are you can say they are, although they may be infected by corona, you see so many people are getting better. Why they are getting better in this corona? It is not because they are receiving any vaccine. There is no vaccine for corona, or there is no particular medicines for corona. Doctors are prescribing flu medicines to them, and whatever common symptoms are there, that common symptoms are suppressed, and their blood cells or their immune system is such that it is fighting the virus and developing antibodies against the virus. And hence all these things are there now. Still it is in research, the plasma donation and all, because in their blood some antibodies are developed against the virus. So in future they are protected against this virus. Means they will fight this virus. So these people are said to be less vulnerable, whereas the persons who are at old age, or who are diabetic, or who have asthmatic problems, or any such groups which is having some comorbidities, so they are more likely to be affected by the disaster. The disaster is same, the pandemic is same, but the people with less vulnerability will fight it. The people with more vulnerability will not be able to sustain it for a long time. Hence, you should worry about the old people which are there in your vicinity, because they may not have that immune system. So because they are the vulnerable group, hazard is same, but they are, because of the vulnerability is more, they are more affected by disaster. So we'll discuss about this cycle. So there is a response or relief phase after the disaster. Immediately after the disaster, there is a golden hour. So if you provide relief, if you provide disaster response, then within that golden hour, if the response is there, then the patient is, or the affected people are, their lives is saved. Otherwise they are severely impacted. Yes, anybody has any question? Anybody wants to ask anything?
No, sir.
Just a moment. Fine. So the relief is there. If the relief is provided immediately, so the person's life is saved. There is a golden hour. Even in case of accidents, na, you see, previously people were frightened to take the people to the hospital, the affected people, the accident victims to the hospital. Why? Because they were worried of the police case. But now the court and all have declared that immediately after the accident, the immediate priority should be what? The people should receive the first aid, or whatever possible aid should be provided to people. Then there is the second phase, is the rehabilitation. Rehabilitation is a temporary structures which are created. So civil engineers responsibility as well as mechanical engineers responsibility is there, because they need to design all the elements which are there for erecting the temporary structures. So there is a very niche career for civil engineer in disaster management, because many civil engineers, they choose the disaster management as their particular careers, because it is a very, you can say, a noble cause. Even though you are exposed to various kinds of disasters and all, but still people choose this, because of they want to do service for the humanity and the nation. So there is a rehabilitation phase. So it is not like building permanent structures. You just give temporary relief to the people, so that, like some camps you have made, or some structures, some water storage structures you have built, some sort of relief material, or some, it is an extended phase of relief where people can stay for some days, say for 2 months, for 4 months they can stay. Then there is reconstruction phase, because suppose some people's houses have been damaged in the disaster, you cannot keep them permanently in the relief camps or in the temporary structures. So you need to reconstruct them. We'll discuss, elaborate more on these two phases. Then there is development phase. After reconstruction, people should be, their minds should be developed that in the future if the hazard again strikes, if the disaster again strikes, because there is a potential hazard. So we should develop ourselves to face this particular disaster. So after reconstruction, people are developing themselves, so they will make their houses or their capabilities more as compared to their previous status. So they will look for prevention measures, they will look for mitigation measures. Prevention means what all we can do to prevent ourselves from getting affected by the disaster again. Like in case of there are prevention is like you take immunity boosters, right? Now some time back, or even now, some homeopathic medicine is there. I'm not sure about the name. Arsenic album 30. All of you have heard about it. So
Yes,
this
sir.
this medicine is there, they are providing, or some people are even giving some kada or something like that, na? Some Ayurvedic medicine and all is prescribed by just for building the immune system. It will not protect you against the disaster. It means it will make you less vulnerable. Even if the disaster, even if the hazard strikes, the chances of disaster are less. Are you understanding? So prevention is there. Then the mitigation is there. Mitigation means you will not allow the hazard itself to occur. That is there. Then preparedness is there. Even if the hazard occurs by any, if the disaster occurs anyhow, how well you are prepared, that phase is there. And then in case of again disaster occurring, you will be well prepared to take on the disaster, to face the disaster. So this phase is there. It's a continuously improving phase. Disaster is there. Of course, not all people will be prepared. Again, there will be some losses, some this. Again, you have to provide relief measures, because people, the main problem with people is, one is their economic status, because people are from poor backgrounds. They cannot spend, or their economic situation is not such that they can build themselves, they can build their capacities. They have to live with it unless they develop themselves. And one is education. They are not educated. They do not know how to cope up with a disaster when it occurs. So response is there. You must have seen many such images where the disaster affected people are immediately given some treatments, actions taken immediately following the impact of disaster, when exception measures are required to meet the basic needs of the survivors. Basic needs are roti, kapda, or makan. At least these three things should be given: food, clothing, and shelter. At least some food should be there, at least some clothing should be there, and at least some temporary shelter should be for our people, so that they can live comfortably. Measures that are required in search of rescue of survivors. All these measures are known as, they are known as relief. So you're providing healthcare is one more important thing, because the disaster affected people, they are now living in a community. So in a community, when you live, there are more chances of diseases which are to be transferred from one people to another, because all sort of people live together, right? Now they are not secluded in their particular homes. So the healthcare and all these facilities are important. So there are three things. Yes, Farhan, again, is it by mistake or you have to ask something?
Hello. Yes, sir. I have a question here. Does
Please.
this epidemic also comes under this disaster
Yes,
management?
yes. This epidemic is also a disaster. If you see the definition, I'll just go back to the
Okay.
definition. You'll just, disaster is any serious disruption of functioning. Is there the disruption of functioning of the society? There is a disruption, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You have
Yes.
been locked down, right? You're not being able to carry out your day-to-day activities which you are carrying out before your disaster. Like we are taking online lectures, na? If this disaster won't have been not there, won't have been there, you would have come to the college. There is causing widespread human, material, or environment losses. Whether there are environmental losses, yes, either of the, because this is our environment. Some people may claim that because of this pandemic, the environment has become the you can say noise pollution has reduced, whereas the air quality has improved. True, but still it has caused the human losses, material losses. People have lost businesses. People have lost their earning livelihood. So it has affected the ability to cope up with their. So people are facing this disaster. They cannot cope up with it. So it is a disaster. It is not a sudden case. It is a progressive disaster. It has occurred over a period of time. Hmm.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
Okay, fine. So there is a relief measures are taken. So relief can be uh, provided in due course of time, or it is also provided immediately. Just a moment. So there are three phases: recovery, rehabilitation, and reconstruction. So what is the difference between them? Uh, you see, the phase between relief, look, the immediate phase is relief, then rehabilitation is there, and reconstruction is there, and then you mitigate and then you repair. So relief is the immediate phase, rehabilitation is provided during due course of time, and reconstruction is provided subsequently. The process undertaken by a disaster affected community to fully restore itself to its functioning is known as recovery. The people are now taking their day to day, or they are now doing their day to day activities, so it is a recovery. So if you see just this person who is sitting on this chair, if what happens is, this is a hazard because it is a weak chair, it is a hazard. This person, because of his weight, is a vulnerable person. If it is a thin person, he won't have been vulnerable to this particular hazard. He has sat on this chair and the chair has broken. It has become what? A disaster has occurred, isn't it? Now what you do, you tie this chair, you make a temporary adjustment. So this particular phase is known as what? The relief measure. Okay, and you then you change this and you bring a, so you rehabilitate. You rehabilitate means what you do is, what was the original situation, you again bring it back to the, or to the same situation. Now what will happen if the fat person again sits on this, what will happen? Again it will break. Why it will break? Because you have just provided rehabilitation, you have not provided reconstruction. Reconstruction means to ensure that even if, no matter what is the weight of this person, if he sits on it, the weight is supported. Are you understanding? Is it making sense? These terminologies, are you getting?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Some more questions. Why are not in
No, sir.
language? Huh. Fine. Okay, now, and it is a pandemic true. Why it is a pandemic? Epidemic is for a particular place. Pandemic means if the entire world is affected, like it is now, it will become a pandemic. So corona
Widespread.
is a pandemic. Okay. Are you understanding? So you can easily relate what is hazard, then this is vulnerability, this is disaster, then this is relief, then you have provided rehabilitation. Then again, if hazard happens, rehabilitation will have the same, you can say, problems, unless you provide a reconstruction phase, the problems are going to be there. Just a moment, I will put the attendance, so you can mark the attendance. Yes, Amara has some question.
No, sir, that by mistake.
Minus, no issue, no issue. Just I'll post the attendance you can fill, because already it is. I'm posting in your group as well as I'll post it here. It will be better.